ladies and gentlemen, I have to do it. I got to interrupt Leonard Skinner because our special guest is on the MPW Digital TV Celebrity Hotline. Please join me in welcoming to the show Lou Diamond Phillips. What's up, buddy?
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good. Welcome to the great state of Iowa, and happy Friday, my friend.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'm in the fabulous state of New Mexico right now, filming the 5th season of Longmire. But definitely calling up to chat about the Night Stalker, which is coming on Sunday night.
I love it. So the Night Stalker, Sunday night at 8 o'clock Central for us on Lifetime. I was watching the little preview for this. Looks good. Good cast. Well put together. How long ago did you guys do this, Lou? Was it like last year, a few months ago, or what?
Yeah, no, it was definitely last year. It was like right after I finished the 4th season of Longmire. We shot in Los Angeles, and I mean, what's interesting is that it's a fictional story kind of wrapped around the reality of Richard Ramirez, and many people would remember that Richard was this Satanist, sort of a fascinating serial killer who terrorized Los Angeles in the summer of 1985. And I played Richard toward the end of his life. He was actually in San Quentin for 23 years on death row and died of lymphoma. So, the preparation was very, very intense. And, I sort of took it upon myself to try and do a complete transformation, try to recreate him as much as possible. And I got down to 152 pounds.
Whoa.
We did the hair extensions. Yeah, no, it was crazy, man. I mean, you can see, the cheekbones just pop, in this role. But the other thing is too, I mean, his teeth were sort of infamous. So I don't know if anybody watches Face Off, but Greg Canham over there, who runs that shop, those guys made me some prosthetic teeth that very much replicated Richard's. I mean, apparently the guy was not the best at hygiene, and his teeth were pretty gnarly, and his hair was sort of long and overgrown, and it was a very interesting transformation.
I love it. I was going to say, when you hire Lou Diamond Phillips, you go all in. Like, that's impressive, man. Jeez Louise.
Oh, thanks, man. I look at it this way. No matter what the project is, no matter how big it is or how small, if I sign on, you're going to get my A game, and it was great. I mean, and working with Bellamy Young, from Scandal, which was just amazing. It was almost like like doing a play. And the setup is that she's this lawyer who comes in to interview Ramirez, and then we flash back to his crimes in the past and how it affected her as a teenager growing up in Los Angeles. But she's trying to elicit a confession, which will exonerate one of her clients who is on death row. She thinks that his crime that he's accused of was committed by Ramirez early on. And the truth of the matter is, even though he was convicted for 14 crimes, he was suspected of many, many more. I mean, he murdered 14 people, but he had attacked 25, 26 or something like that.
Wow.
And there were others, from San Francisco and perhaps from El Paso that he was suspected of committing as well.
Jeez Louise. Lou, I have to pivot to Longmire for a second because I put on my personal Facebook that I was going to be talking to you, and it just blew up with comments. So you said you're in New Mexico. Where in New Mexico do you guys film the show?
We filmed it in Santa Fe, and that stands in for Absaroka County, Wyoming, and does it quite well, I have to say. But we're what they call a white van show. I mean, if we're not in studio, we're heading out an hour, 2 hours outside of town to, get up to the mountains, to the pines, Los Alamos and Taos and, Pecos. A lot of really, really scenic locations in and around, Santa Fe. And it's kind of cool for me because we shot both the Young Guns here. Mm-hmm. So there are, a number of people on the crew who worked on that film and a number of bartenders who are still working, who can, they can put together a few nights for me, back in the late 80s. Do you remember, Lou, when you and Kiefer? Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Oh my gosh. I actually, one of my best friends got married in Santa Fe last September, and oddly enough, the resort where the wedding happened, also was where Ethan Hawke and Vincent D'Onofrio were staying because they were shooting Magnificent Seven. And Santa Fe, by the way, Lou, that place is like magical. It is super cool. Like
it's
right?
one of those places, on the earth where I don't know. There's this sort of undeniable energy.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to a few of these places. Table Mountain in Cape Town, South Africa, is reminiscent of that as well. But yeah, and I think it's the reason why a lot of artists and a lot of writers, gravitate, toward this area. You certainly have your Georgia O'Keeffe's, but even presently, Sam Shepard has a place here, and you can run into him every once in a while.
That's amazing. So a lot of people want to know, because you're talking to me in the state of Iowa. Have you ever been to the ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa, where Richie Valens' last show was before the big crash?
I have intended to get there, for years, decades now, because it's been 30 years since La Bamba.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, unfortunately, I have not. I know that every year around February 3rd, the day the music died, they do a wonderful celebration, and I've just never been able to make it up. I'm still in touch with Mario, who was Richie's little brother. He was a baby in the movie,
mm-hmm.
And Mario's got a band, and I've always meant to get up and jam with him a little bit. But hopefully one day I can make it up there.
When you get done,
I was in Iowa.
Yeah.
For Farm Aid, back in 1990 or something like that.
Nice, of course.
And that was a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have a good time here. So after you get done with Longmire, what's next for you, Lou? You moving on to a different project or movie or TV show or what?
Well, right now it's going to be a little bit of downtime. I'm going to get to go spend some time with my family and hang out and maybe catch up on some pool time with the 8-year-old. There's a couple of projects up in the air, but nothing that has landed yet, and we'll see what I move on to.
Well, I tell you what, Night Stalker, again, is this Sunday night, June 12th, 8 o'clock Central for us on Lifetime. And do you have a date, or have they told you when the next season of Longmire will start?
It'll probably start streaming in September on Netflix.
Perfect. That's fantastic. Well, I tell you what, man, I really appreciate the time, and I know that it's exceptionally early where you're at. So for doing this, I appreciate it. And listen, you're always welcome back, Lou Diamond Phillips, in the great state of Iowa.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for the time.
Have a great weekend, Lou. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
You betcha.
Bye.